YouTube, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. We're here for today's episode at the Bettor's Edge, and we are going to cover the remaining games in the Elite Eight, Sunday slate of action in college hoops. Before we get to today's card, guys, let's talk about and recap what happened on Saturday night. First, let's start with Iowa. Let's start with Iowa and Illinois. It's the theme of this round, at least through the first two games. You have the dog coming out hot and early, taking a lead into the break. And then the favorites, the cream, if you will, rising to the top in the second half and covering against the spread. It's what happened in Iowa, Illinois. It's the exact same thing that happened with Purdue and Arizona. You have to tip your cap to the Arizona Wildcats. An absolutely dominating performance in that second half. It was an absolute mismatch for the final 20 minutes of that game. Credit to Illinois, credit to Arizona, not only for advancing to the Final Four, but doing it in dominant fashion over the course of crunch time in both games. Moving into Sunday, guys, let's start with Duke and UConn. Duke right now is sitting as 5-point favorites. I'm a little bit surprised that Caleb Foster is back. I didn't anticipate him to have returned versus St. John's, and what a performance Caleb Foster put in that game. In my opinion, Duke doesn't win that game without Caleb Foster. This game against UConn is going to be a similar game at a slower tempo for what we saw against St. John's. It's going to be a gritty game. It's going to be a feisty game. It's going to be a little bit sloppy. It's going to be a slower pace, as I just mentioned. And in my opinion, this type of game flow ultimately is going to favor the Duke Blue Devils. I think the theme of this weekend is going to be, as I mentioned already, seeing the cream rise to the top. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Hurley and his boys come out early, put together a defensive masterpiece in the first half, might even go into the break with a lead, might even be a relatively big lead. But what Jon Scheyer has proven is he is an elite in-game coach with in-game adjustments. We saw it against Michigan State from this UConn team, against a team that can strap like Michigan State, which this Duke Blue Devils team can do. This UConn team can go cold shooting the ball, can go long stretches without buckets. They can get sloppy on the offensive end, and they can turn the ball over. The struggle that UConn is going to have is if those droughts offensively occur tomorrow night against this Duke Blue Devil team. This Duke team, even though UConn is feisty defensively and stout defensively, is far superior inside and out than Sparty. I think, as I keep mentioning, the cream is going to rise to the top. I think Boozer's the best player on the floor. Tarris Reed is solid, but in my opinion, he can't sniff what Cameron Boozer can do inside the paint. And at the end of the day, Isaiah Evans continues to show up when this Duke Blue Devils team needs him the most. 10-star play, give me the Duke Blue Devils minus 5 points tomorrow night to win and advance to the Final Four. We have the Tennessee Volunteers and we have the Michigan Wolverines. This line right now is sitting at Michigan minus 7.5. I'm going to continue to harp on this because, as I mentioned, I think this is the theme of the weekend. I think Tennessee is going to come out quick for a couple of different reasons. Number one, they're playing relatively well, but more importantly, this Michigan team likes to dick around for the first 10, 20, 30 minutes of some of these games. We've seen it in almost every single one of these games this tournament. Not only have we seen it from Michigan games, but we've seen it in every game in the Elite Eight so far. The Dogs come out quick. They come out to an early lead. And then, as I keep mentioning, eventually the cream rises to the top. But for this Michigan team in particular, we saw Alabama shoot it lights out in the first half, go into the break with a lead against Michigan. We saw St. Louis early in the first half shoot it lights out, run out to an early 6 to 8 point lead against Michigan. Trying to recall Michigan's very first game. Howard, exact same thing. First 20, 25 minutes, Howard, maybe even longer than that if I'm not mistaken. Howard running neck and neck with this Michigan team, and eventually Michigan pulls away. It's as if they do this, I don't want to say intentionally, but it's as if they don't take their opponent seriously for the first 20 minutes or so. Then Dusty May sits them down at the break or in the huddle, wakes them up a little bit, and then they go on some crazy spurt. Whether it's a 10-0 run, a 15-2 run, 20-4 run, this Michigan team is as explosive as any team in the country. I think Tennessee is going to cover the first half spread. I think Tennessee might even have a lead at the break, but I think this game is going to go identically to the two games that we saw tonight, and it's going to go identically to the fourth game that I just predicted, which would be after this Michigan game, where the dog has the lead early, but the cream rises to the top. Michigan goes on a crazy run in the second half or late first half and ends up finding a way to control the game. Give me Michigan, another 10-star play, minus 7.5 points. I talked about it in the preview leading up to the NCAA tournament. I mentioned, in my opinion, that I thought 3 number 1 seeds were going to advance to the Final Four. Well, guess what? We have Arizona already. I think Duke advances, and I also think Michigan advances tomorrow as well. This is the new age college basketball. The drama, the Cinderella stories, you can basically throw them out the window and forget about them. Through the first 4 rounds of this tournament, they're basically non-existent. I think once we get to the Final Four, and as I keep mentioning, we see the cream rise to the top, and we have a Duke-Illinois matchup and a Michigan-Arizona matchup, that is when this tournament will officially begin, in my opinion. With that said, guys, take both favorites tomorrow. Duke minus 5, Michigan minus 7.5, both 10-star plays. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow night with my first pick in Major League Baseball.